Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is a YouTube channel for successful property investors or people who are working to become successful property investors. So I know it's 2023 is here. You know, there's like high inflation rates, interest rates rising, or maybe you're having electricity prices rising or petrol prices rising. There are still property investors who are saying, hey, I'm seeing an opportunity in 2023 and I'm going to continue building my wealth throughout the year. So if you're that person and you're ready to crash this year, well, before we get too excited, let's slow down and talk about the 10 mistakes property investors make when they're planning their year, because you can never, ever execute if you didn't plan anything at all. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So I want you to watch this video until the end, because I take mistake number 7 and number 10 very seriously. I see it so many times, even with seasoned property investors, the people who've been in the game for years. I mean, including myself, I do make that mistake. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So without taking any more time, let's get in. Mistake number 1 is actually not setting clear goals. So when you're planning your year, you need to know where do you want to go and how you're going to get there. So in a simpler terms, it means if you want to buy maybe 3x properties by the end of the year, you need to know, okay, where you're going to get the money from, what type of strategy that you're going to be using, and also if you have the cash reserves or you're going to be needing other investors to be investing with you. Those are some of the things that you need to plan and be very, very specific about. You can't just say, I just want to have 3x properties by December or by January or by September. That's not good enough. You need to be very, very specific about your goals. Use the SMART framework when you're planning your goals. That's something very, very important. All right, now we're going to talk about the second thing property investors make as a mistake, especially when they're planning their year, is actually underestimating unexpected expenses. So if you're a business person, it sucks to know that as much as you can even have the most clear plan. And I mean, that's why they say business plans don't work anymore, because you can plan every detail of it, but however, there's going to be an unexpected expense that's going to show up. So what do you do about that? Just put provision for that. I mean, that's something that we encourage you to do. You can put different percentages on that to make sure that if something comes up, then at least you have provision for it, especially when it comes to your property investing. All right, the third mistake that I'm seeing a lot of property investors make, and I think you can avoid this year in order for you to have a great 2023, is actually overestimating how quickly you can turn a project around. That's a mistake we do most of the time. Just think, okay, you know what, I'm just going to quickly get in and out in 6 months or 8 months or so. The project is going to be done. Thus, you know what? You need to slow down a bit and understand that Rome was not built in one day. You know, Rome was built over a period of time. So don't rush things. You know, make sure that you take time to do your due diligence. Make sure that you take time to plan your project properly. Make sure that you take time to have the right people on the team. Make sure that you execute your property or your project to the best of your abilities. That's something very, very important. Mistake number 4 is not networking and building relationships. If you're not out there networking with people, other estate agents, maybe other property investors, loan originators, builders, anyone else that you need, lawyers, whoever you need on your side, especially when you're building a business, or if you want to ever run your property as a business, if you're not out there intentionally networking and building relationships, I think you're going to have a difficult time, because you can never build something that will last for a very long time. So get out there this year and build relationship. And also that should be part of your goal. You know, you shouldn't be building relationship by except be very, very intentional about it. Speak to people, get to know people, and get the people that you need on your team, especially as you're growing your portfolio. But now let's talk about mistake number 5. Mistake number 5 is very, very simple, and it can also be misunderstood. It's not diversifying your portfolio. Look, inflation is affecting different sectors of the property market. For example, building affordable housing is very, very difficult right now because material price is increasing, and also the rentals are not going as fast, you know, for affordable housing. So that means it's very, very tough to even break even when you're starting new development from scratch. And that also, student accommodation can also get affected by so many things, strikes, etc. And also universities having to adjust to the online learning, all of that stuff. So if you don't have a diversified portfolio as an investor, then you run a risk of actually depending too much of one sector of real estate. And then when it's not performing, then you don't have anything else that is actually helping you out. For example, you have student accommodation that is actually just a 10 months lease. Then you do have affordable housing, which you can get 12 months lease as well, even though it's lower rent. Those are some of the smaller things you can do as a property investor this year. And also make sure that you plan to diversify your portfolio properly. Number 6 is very, very simple. If you haven't watched the video about my top 6 prediction of 2023, you should watch that, because it speaks about number 6 in much more detail. But that is keeping up with the property market trends. So if you're not out there finding out, okay, what's the trend right now? How does the rising inflation, how does the rising interest rates affect your property, your rentals, or maybe your operating costs? Then you're not keeping up with that, then you're going to just be in there for a surprise. External factors affect your business. How does our economy right now, the load shedding, affect your business? You need to know about that as well. So as an investor, you need to keep your pulse on the market, know what's going on, know what the Reserve Bank is doing, know exactly what the banks are doing, what are the new credit policies, or what are the new opportunities that are coming out there. Is the government getting new things to help property investors get into the market? Are they issuing any like tax benefits to invest in specific areas? What is going on, and where is the opportunity? And also, where is the threat for your business? So that's something very, very important. As a property investor, you should do yourself a favor and keep in touch with what's going on in the market. Okay, so now let's talk about number 7. This is the one we're waiting for. Number 7 is very, very serious, and I think it's something that I do, especially if I get too excited about it. If I see a deal, I see the paperwork is looking nice, I see the area, I see the price, and I speak to somebody on the phone and they tell me all the sweet things I want to hear about the deal, I do get so out to forget to do something very, very important, which is skipping the due diligence. Get there, I want to put in an offer subject to so many things that I can be able to do later on. But sometimes that excitement fades away very quickly after I figure out that it's not as good as it looks. So that's something that, at least for myself, I can put in an offer that can protect me, that I can get out of the deal if it's not worth the squeeze. But for most property investors, they don't even know how to do that. So they just get in there, put in an offer based on whatever they had, and then they skip the due diligence and they just get involved in a property. That's something that is very, very dangerous, because it'll cost you so much money to actually get out of a bad deal. Mistake number 8 is very, very simple. It's just not having a solid exit strategy. If you don't have a solid exit strategy, you're not sure if you're going to rent in the property or you're going to be selling it, or whatever your exit is, you're going to have a very, very difficult time as well. And so when you find a property, before you even buy it, before you even put in any money or even an offer, make sure that you have your exit strategy in place. And that's something that's very, very important. And I want you to take heed of that as well. Mistake number 9 is actually not having a team in place. Everywhere you go as a property investor, you're going to hear about a power team or whatever team, whatever type of team they put in place in whatever type of education you go into. But I can promise you one thing. If you don't have the team in place, you're going to end up trying to do everything by yourself. Obviously, we know that this is a recipe for disaster. So I don't recommend that you go out there and try to do everything by yourself. Every little detail of your property investing by yourself, I don't think it's a wise decision to do it like that. So make sure that you have a team. They have property managers, you have letting agents, you have bond originators, you have builders, you have whoever, insurance brokers, whoever's going to help you run your property as a business. That's something that's very, very important. Now, this leads me to the last and final mistake that I'm seeing a lot of property investors make when they're planning their year, is actually not seeking expert advice or professional advice when they need it. You can never do and know everything by yourself. And no man is an island, old saying. Obviously, we know that it's actually based on truth and fact, because you can't know everything. Sometimes you have to pause and know that, hey, I actually need help. I need to contact whoever so-and-so who can help me on my team, or I need to contact somebody else who's not even on my team. They can become on my team as well. And that can also mean contacting us at investRand to help you navigate through 2023. Maybe you don't have a buying plan or blueprint how to do that. Maybe that's all the discussions you can also contact us to do. You don't have to actually do everything by yourself. That's something that's very, very important. Or also contact somebody on your team. Maybe you need a builder. Maybe you need bond originator. You need whoever you need to help you out. They are there to help you out. And make sure that you pick up that phone and then you give them a call, and they should be able to help you out with whatever you need. So there they are. You get the 10 mistakes property investors make when they are planning their year. And I'm sure that if you got this far, you can avoid these pitfalls and you can have a beautiful 2023. So looking forward to seeing you in the next video. And I hope you enjoyed this one. And by the way, before you actually exit the video, make sure that you like and subscribe. And if you know somebody who can benefit from watching this video, make sure that you share it with them. By the way, let me also know in the comments if you like this format. And I'm looking forward to chatting to you on the next video. Bye.